One of the approaches in language teaching is the natural approach.
This approach was developed by Tracy Terrell and Stephen Krashen on the year 1983. This is based on the language acquisition theory. The central point of this approach is not grammar but communication. It introduces lots of vocabulary. It uses pictures and activities on listening and reading. This approach does not make use of native language. This method is appropriate for beginner.
The natural approach follows three stages, namely the comprehension stage, the early speech stage and emergence speech. Let me show you an example of the natural approach. Are you familiar with these pictures? Students will be answering yes or no depending on their familiarity with the pictures presented. Right. This is Baguio City. Let me read to you a short text about Baguio City. Baguio is one of the most famous cities in the Philippines and has been celebrated as the summer capital of the country because of its cool climate. Burnham Park, Camp John Hay and Mines View Park are some of the attractive places to hang out. Today, the city has become more lively and touristic due to the increasing number of tourists. Baguio is fantastic because of its cold weather and majestic, because of its breathtaking sights. Recently, people are bragging about the bustling Session Road, brought about by increasing commercial and tourist activities that really add to the picturesque landscape of Baguio. Now, you can take a great pride if you're a resident of this unique Philippine city, after reading it twice, by the teacher first and next by the student. Proceed to the comprehension questions. 1. What city is the summer capital of the Philippines? 2. Why do you think this city became one of the famous cities in the Philippines? 3. What are some of the attractive places to hang out in Baguio? 4. What makes Baguio attractive? Answer for number 1 is Baguio. Cold weather for number 2. Burnham Park, Camp John Hay, and Mines View Park are some of the attractive places in Baguio. Aside from the cold weather, its majestic view really makes Baguio an attractive place. Next, proceed to the presentation of different places. One at a time, ask the students if they have gone to the following places. Have you been in Palawan, particularly Puerto Princesa, where the underground river is found? This is the best island in the world for having the underground river. Next picture. Have you been here in Bicol, particularly Legazpi, where Mount Mayon is found? Next picture. Have you been here in Boracay, where the finest white sand is found? Next picture. Have you been here in Rizal Park and Fort Santiago in Manila? Next picture. Have you been here in Mount Samot and Las Casas in Bataan? What can you say about the place or places that you have visited? Is it wonderful, boring, exciting? Would you still visit the place for the second time? Would you recommend this place to your friends? For the next activity, we will be watching a video about describing places. Review the descriptive words mentioned on the video. Let's have the first word. Ancient. This is a place that has a long history. Word with similar meaning is historic. For example, Athens is an ancient city, which was established thousands of years ago. The next word is attractive, which means very pleasing on the eyes. Words with similar meaning are beautiful and lovely. For example, the Bell House in Camp John Hay is very attractive. Another word is bustling, a crowded, busy place. Words and phrases with similar meanings are lively, hectic, fast-paced. For example, New York is a busy, bustling city. One of its nickname is the city that never sleeps. Next word is dull, meaning not interesting, boring. For example, it's quite dull living in a desert country. Next set of words, we have contemporary, which means modern, up to date. For example, Singapore is a country with a very contemporary, modern feel. Another word is lively, meaning somewhere with lots of things going on. For example, Manila is a lively city, especially at night. Next last set of words, we have picturesque, which means charming or interesting in a unique or unusual way. Similar words are charming, quaint. For example, adding to the picturesque landscape of Baguio is the increasing commercial and tourist activities. Then the last word is touristic, which means visited mostly by tourists. For example, business-minded people invested money in Baguio for being touristic. After the review of the descriptive words, test if the students can determine the meaning of the descriptive words when it is used in a sentence. Let the students choose the appropriate word from the word wall to fill it up with the sentence. The words on the wall are picturesque, bustling, touristic, attractive, lively, majestic, and fantastic. Here are the sentences. 1. The city is built on a rocky hill rising from the valley, which gives to it a strikingly blank appearance. 2. She gave him a long look, imagining them traveling to a blank bus station. 3. The peaks of these mountains are blank, many of them reaching a height of more than 2 miles above the sea. 4. The women's heads are shaved entirely and the men's into blank patterns. 5. It has important cloth factories and a blank trade in fruit and wine. This is the second stage, which is the early speech. Students will be asked to work in pair and think of the possible answers to the following questions. Would you consider the place you have visited as ancient, attractive, bustling, touristic, lively, dull, picturesque, and contemporary? What makes it that so? What other descriptive words can we use to describe the place aside from what has been mentioned on the video? Sharing of students' answers followed, and teacher should highlight the new descriptive words that will be mentioned by the students. For example, if the student described the city, are words like active, noisy, busy, clean, dirty, windy mentioned? What about loud, congested, snarled to describe the traffic condition? The words old, shabby, rundown, crumbling, modern, towering to describe the buildings. So these are just some of the additional words that the teacher should watch out for additional input. Moving on to another activity. Based on the description made by the students, show them once again the pictures, and ask them to describe the place where their classmates have gone to, based on the descriptive words studied for the day. For the last stage, which is the emergence stage, students will be grouped into 2 groups. For the first group, members will be asked to choose a particular place that they would like to visit and ask the reasons why. And for the second group, members will also be asked to choose a particular place that they would never visit or visit again and ask the reasons why. The teacher should present the rubrics for the said output.